You are now listening to For All Nerds Show, a podcast about geek and pop culture from the perspective of people of color. For All Nerds is hosted by DJ Ben Amin and Tatiana Keene Jones. For All Nerds Show is a member of the Loudspeakers Network, where we always say rest in peace to our founder, Combat Jack.
For All Nerds Show is powered by our listeners. Everything we do, from our podcasts, live events, our website, are all independently funded. Please continue to support us through our Patreon page at patreon.com/forallnerds.
Welcome to the Fan Bros, the show where the bros are fans. Doodle.
And what's up, y'all? And welcome to another episode of the For All Nerds Show. The voice of the urban geek, the podcast where we discuss geek culture from the perspective of people of color. And as always, it's your boy, DJ Ben Amin, a.k.a. Slade Trilson, Big Dick Grayson Energy, Dr. Hugo Stranger Things, Edward Nigma Please, Cal L. Bundy, Halal Jordan, the anti-trife equation here in the spaceship tonight.
Edward Nigma, please.
Edward Nigma Please. And as always, I am joined by
Tatiana King, aka Flex Luthor, aka Queen of the Amazon's Prime subscription, aka the Book of Ashanti, aka Tatiana Kang the Conqueror, aka the Ting of the North. And we are back, Ben Hameen. We saw a couple of screeners. Well, one out of two of us saw a couple of screeners.
I mean, you ain't gotta let them know all that. You know what I mean? I was there in spirit. You just you ain't see me don't mean I wasn't there, Tatiana. You know
I was always there. I'm the watcher. I'm always around.
You know,
don't worry about that.
I be seeing things even without being there. You know what
I
mean?
You know what? One comic book or live action comic book universe has been going through some things for quite some time. And they are going into a metamorphosis right now. I don't even know we're counting this movie as the start of the metamorphosis or like the tail end of the old metamorphosis.
You can we could say this. It depends on how much this opening weekend goes down. I think is that will determine the fate of the lightning bolted superhero we are discussing.
Yes, and that superhero we're discussing is Shazam himself. This is about Shazam: Fury of the Gods. This is the sequel to the Shazam film. When the original Shazam film came out? Let me see.
A while ago.
Like, I feel like it's been forever. Like, I mean, okay, this premiered March 28, 2019. So this was before pandemic. And honestly, because the pandemic is such a black hole of time and space, it could have came out in fucking 1999 at this point, and it would have still felt the same, just in terms of how long it's been. Ooh, okay.
I mean, it was solid. You know, I liked the first one, but it definitely had that old timey feel to it.
Okay, well, it was theatrically released April 5th, 2019. So it's been a long time. It's now 2023 since we got the sequel. Here's the thing, Ben. I mean, I'm just giving you an overall. This is still one of DC's better movies. And again, I don't know where you're putting this in the timeline of DC. Are you talking about the soon to be dead DCEU or the newly DCU, which is supposed to, fix everything a la James Gunn? So, I mean, it's still one of the better DC movies. So, I mean, where does that, and like you said, maybe it just depends on how much money this thing makes.
Sadly.
But it is a fun movie.
Okay.
It's a fun movie. It's in line with the first film. If you enjoyed the first Shazam, you're definitely gonna enjoy this Shazam. Some of the comedy, from the comedy to the dialogue, is all very familiar territory. Not a lot of annoying retreads, if you will, like doing like the same joke over and over again. But it has the same air about it. Like, at the end of the day, Shazam is about a kid that becomes a superhero, right? And he has his power. He looks like a grown-ass man, but he is a child. And you can tell that and you can tell that in the way he approaches life, his psyche, his attitude, like the way he carries himself. That's a boy, right? That's a young boy at the end of the day. And then, as we saw in the original film, you saw that he brought his family into it, his adoptive brothers and sisters. So you get to see the Shazam fam. You get to see these kids that are now imbued with these God powers. And it overall just was a very fun film. It's a great family film. I will say that.
Okay.
There's some lightweight cussing in it. Yes, there is. That being said, there was a lot of kids in the screening.
I'm sure.
There was a huge contingent of kids in that screening, actually. And so I think they were like maybe 9, 10 on up. So again, I don't know how y'all deal with y'all kids who has kids if you don't want them hearing cussing and acting out, but it's the typical stuff, like, not some of the weird potty humor, some of the, like, again, the funny cursing, the funny half cursing and funny half jokes, but
any
it's all
sexual innuendos?
There's some sexual innuendos involving one superhero in particular, this female superhero from the Justice League.
You can go ahead and say that because Warner Brothers decided to put that in the commercials. I saw it earlier today.
Okay, so Wonder Woman, there's lots of and nothing. And let me be clear, it's nothing like too overt or too sexualized. It's just like, boy crush type stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So nothing. But like, again, I had always felt like the first, let me not say original, but the first Shazam was fun. It was a good time. And especially because it came out in a state of all of the dour, dark DC films that to me were the same. It was the same, dour and dark. Oh, I'm so sad. Oh, I'm so powerful. Oh, Zack Snyder. All right. And then came Shazam. And I was like, oh, good. Something different. Something that's a little bit more lighthearted. Something that doesn't take itself too seriously, but there are serious consequences. And I got that again with Shazam 2.
Okay, so for those who are kind of unfamiliar, or what's the status quo of Shazam and his family at the beginning of the film? Because like you said, at the end of the last one, they all had godlike powers. They're all chilling in the Rock. I know they're making the Rock of Eternity their home now, or their hideout, etc. So what are they at, and what kind of conflict problems they got? Right.
So it's actually, and I actually really liked that. It was just a continuation. It was pretty much like they picked up where they left off, which I liked. It was maybe, I don't remember how old Billy was in the first one, but he's almost 18 now. So I don't know.
Oh, a little younger than that.
So he was he like 15 maybe?
Yeah, so? Maybe.
Okay,
yeah,
well, he's according to, he's 5 months away from being 18. And so that, I don't know, that's
grown ass man.
You want to say 3 years, right? You see that progression of time. You see it in the progression of time in the kids, but the kids still generally look young, right? And we pick up where they left off. Like, you see that they've had their powers for a while now, so they're out doing, fighting crimes, doing superhero things, trying to save the day in Philly. Remember, they're children, so they're not going to get it right all the time, right? So that's actually played up to pretty much hilarious effect throughout the film, that you can see like they trying to do their best to save people and do the right thing, but being children, they make mistakes, being inexperienced as superheroes, let alone as people in life. They don't exactly get stuff right the first time. But yeah, you get to see them, how they're hanging out in their lair, how they interact with each other, how they live their life, as I think they go from middle school on up to high school at this point in their ages. So, and then the oldest girl, she would have been college age, or she is college age by now.
Okay.
And then as far as like the conflicts that it's kind of what I said, like just learning how to navigate the disasters that happen randomly, because this is still a world full of superheroes. They are based in Philly, so all the disasters and the destruction is happening in like the heart of Philly. So they're over there just, showing out for their city.
Okay, so and then we have some new villains in this, because I know that was one thing in the end. I think it was the end credits of the first Shazam. They hinted that they were going to go with Mr. Mind, who is like this little caterpillar who's super smart or something. I think he might be telepathic. And I know they didn't follow up with that in this film. So who are the villains?
I will say, okay, well, I'll get to that later. But the villains are really the Daughters of Atlas, paid by Helen Mirren. Lucy Liu, and what is the other young girl's name? Oh, Rachel Zegler. So they play Hespera and Thea and Calypso.
Okay.
So they literally are these Greek, or no, this is Greek. They play the embodiment of these Greek gods and goddesses. And basically, like, if you know the acronym Shazam actually stands for the Greek like heroes or the different like, what did
Hercules,
they say? Solomon, the wisdom of Solomon.
Yeah, wisdom of Solomon.
Atlas. Is it Atlas?
No, speed of Hermes.
Speed of Hermes.
Yeah, speed of Hermes. Atlas.
Mercury, like
Mercury,
all those gods.
Zeus, yeah, I think coming up in there.
So what they did was they just dove further into that mythology, the Greek mythology, and they came up with these 3 villains who are now, like, as you know, Shazam and the Shazam fam are imbued with these powers. These powers came from somewhere. They came from Atlas, the Titan god, and apparently it was stolen from them. So they're now back to take it to the rightful owners.
Okay. And that means killing these kids.
And that means killing the kids. That means killing anybody that gets in their way. Fuck humanity, really. But fuck humanity. Fuck Philly. All this other stuff.
So bodies get dropped?
Nigga. There's a lot of bodies. Now, and here's the thing. For this to be such a... it's actually... And I say this again. It is a cool family film. There's a lot of bodies getting dropped. And
wow.
And by bodies dropped, I don't mean like John Wick style. Like, you don't see blood everywhere, but you do see some brutal hits. Like, and pretty much like within even the first like 10 minutes, you see some brutal shit happening. You do see some, magical type deaths. You do see some brute force trauma type deaths or implied deaths, if you will. And you do get to see that throughout the film, but you don't really see blood.
So people get disintegrated, that type of thing.
All of that shit. Infinity faded, dropped on their heads, thrown around like rag dolls. You see all that. and actually, for me, I actually commended that because this felt more like if it was animated, right? Whereas like, yeah, there's some things that it may appeal to the younger audience and kids and things like that, or families, if you will. But then it's also like, bro, at the end of the day, these are people with God powers who are fighting each other. When you got the power of Zeus and I got the power of Zeus and we come together and smack the shit out of each other, something gonna break, right? Some shit gonna shake. So, and you get to see that. And I do appreciate that they didn't hold back on that, right? Even if it's kids, even if it's someone who's beloved, like someone's dying and like they make it pretty clear.
Okay.
Even the bystanders, goddamn. Sorry for you, guy.
Wow. So is it like on the level of a what was that, Man of Steel type destruction?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's wide scale, the city of Philly.
Wow.
Yeah.
For real?
For real. Now
like the
whole thing. I just say you say Man of Steel. Like, what about Man of Steel? It was a lot of fucking destruction, and the city went up. Philly goes up in this too.
No, and Man of Steel, by the end of that joint, that dude was standing in the rubble of Metropolis. Like,
and let me be clear, it's not a rubble wasteland. No,
you don't get that,
but you do get heavy, wide scale damage. The city takes damage. My God, this is fucking 200% Smash Brothers damage. More than that.
I heard they wreck up the baseball stadium.
Oh yeah, man, that shit. Woo, that's damage central. So, but yeah, you get collateral damage all over the place. You get structural damage everywhere. Like there's nothing sacred, and that's okay with me. Like my thing is, they made their decision on what this was, right? Like I guess it's PG-13 or whatever. Like they're like, this is not a kid's movie, but it's not no TVMA type shit. It's like right there, firmly in the middle.
I just don't. I mean, does Shazam cry after all this? I just didn't expect,
No, so that's the thing, and let's talk about that because that's what I liked about the first Shazam film. It still had heart. Like I said, how I enjoy the first one very differently from the other. How I didn't really care about the rest of the DCEU because it was so dark and no one had fucking feelings and everything's brooding. Whereas Shazam, niggas had feelings, right? Mm-hmm. People talked about things, silly or not. It felt more relative. Relatable, and I still got that, and you get that here. Like there are some heartfelt scenes in this, right? There are some things that it's very much family. Like there's even fucking Fast and Furious jokes in here about family. So
I saw that too.
right, and that's why like that, like it's a joke, but it's made. But that feeling, that family above everything, is literally one of the themes of this film. And family sticks together. Da, 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 da. So like, yeah, we make the jokes about the Vin Diesel family stuff, but it's like dead ass. Like this is the driving force for Shazam himself, but also the rest of the characters and why things happen. Like, and it's really actually, there's actually a really sweet moment that is tear worthy. And I was like, oh shit, okay, they really did something cute here.
Okay. So I think you talked about what you liked enough. I know everyone like I enjoy what's his name? Zachary Levi,
Yeah.
right?
As this character, yeah.
Oh, no.
As this character, yes. I love
Yeah.
as this character, he's fantastic.
Oh, okay, but as his character. Okay, well, I guess that's it. But I like the rest of the transformed people. They really didn't get much shine in the first one. Do they get more shine in this one? Because yeah.
Yes, and I'm
Yep.
glad you said that, because that's one of the things. It's like you get. I mean, it really just literally towards the end of the movie it happens.
Yeah,
Because
so
the
they
Shazam
have no
fan,
time.
right?
Yeah,
There's no
yeah.
time to introduce people, and some of the people still show, especially like little black girl Darla. Like you want to see more of these people, and you do get to see a lot more of them. You do see you see them grow up a little bit. You see some of their reveals as they grow. And when I say that, I mean some of the reveals of their personhood, right? Like these are still like Darla's still baby girl Darla. She's still sweet and cute. Then as I mentioned, the eldest child, she's like college age, so you get a little bit of her angst there. Obviously Billy himself, who's growing up and coming to terms, and then all the other kids, like the other brothers that are part of the family. Like you see, you get to see glimpses of them. Now, do you get to see everyone? Does everyone have equal screen time? No, but you do get to see a lot more of the kids and their interactions.
Okay, I really wouldn't expect that. But I'm also talking about, because we saw the kids all through the first one, I'm talking about their counterparts. Like, who is it? Megan Good, I think, who's playing.
So
Yeah.
the movie did good about that. They actually switched back and forth pretty evenly, I felt.
Yeah.
So you get to see enough Megan Good, enough of the, and I want to say her name, that the little girl who plays Darla, but you get to see enough of both of them, I think, throughout the film. Like it's not so much where you sit and you just see a half of the film where it's just mostly the adults, then it's just a little bit of the kids. Like, nah, it was pretty evenly spaced.
Yeah, because in the last one, they definitely did not become the Shazam family to the end. They were always the kids around.
Very end, yeah.
Yeah, but Megan and them weren't introduced till the very end. It was like the big surprise, all the actors who were in it at that point.
Yeah, her name is Faith Herman, the little girl who plays Darla. But yeah, no,
Okay.
you see the adult versions of them a lot. Like,
Yeah.
And again, they did a good job of, to me, being pretty even, where you saw enough of the kids verse and their adult superhero counterpart.
Okay, before we get into things you didn't like, I want to know, I got a few other questions. Were there any references to a certain blackish Adam?
No.
Not a one?
I'm not gonna say not a one, because I some of the dialogue I was like, all right, whatever. But if you want to talk about references, there were, like the first film, there were a lot of Marvel jokes and Marvel jabs.
Wow, like what?
Yeah, but like lightweight stuff, like, hey, I'm your buddy, I'm just making fun of you type things, not
Yeah.
I'm better than you type jokes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that type of joke, right?
But
So,
anything
like,
in particular?
the references to Captain Marvel, references to Avengers, references.
Oh, wow. References to Captain Marvel.
Yes,
Wow.
that's the one that got me.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah. Like, and when I say reference, I like the words. So
Yeah.
like they didn't like hint at it. Like, and that's and again, I just think legally they can just say the names of things.
Yeah. How does that go again? Because it's like they originally owned it and then they lost the rights, and then Marvel started getting the rights, and that's why Shazam is now called Shazam instead of being called Captain Marvel, because he was originally called Captain Marvel.
Yep.
Yeah, that's how it goes.
Yep.
So
and,
yeah.
and that's why that one gave me some delight when that happened. But yeah, there's a few Marvel jokes and references in there, if anything. And as I mentioned, even in the Avengers, so you get more of that. Was there a Black Adam reference? I don't recall there being one. And that's another thing, though. Even though this Black Adam had been on the books for so long, it still was not 100% known to come out until it came, like, finally came out. So was it
Nah,
supposed to be
DC
references?
no though. No, DC
No,
knew, and they had
for
time.
example, it took like 10 years for this shit to come out.
Yeah,
Rocket has been working on this shit forever. So I'm just saying, I don't think they was holding on the writing of thing. My point is, I don't know if they were even, I know what the idea was, but I don't think they were thinking about Black Adam when they wrote this.
I mean, but that's just so wild for it not to be, you know, because for any comic fan, it is Shazam and Black Adam. It just, it makes absolutely no sense that they never.
And Black Adam had no reference to them either. Besides the thoughts of the wizard, John Hansu, like besides that and that clear connection for people who follow the series, there was no mention of the Shazam fam. And in this, I do not recall, and I could be wrong. Somebody correct me when y'all see the film, but I don't remember a reference to Black Adam. Again, besides the wizard himself, but like that's not overt, like right? Like
that's a hurt to and breathe moment for me because like my favorite, at least what really got me into the story of Black Adam and the Shazam, because I really wasn't into any of them. I never cared about them as a kid. Was when what was that? 52. It's a series by DC that came out every week, and it was written by a bunch of great writers, but they featured a story on Black Adam, and it's when he gets his family, he meets his wife Isis and her younger brother, and they all become a family. And it's like they have a reconciliation, with the Captain Marvel family and all his crew, and like so they're all friends for a while until some horrible shit happens to Black Adam's family, and then he goes buck wild again after that. But it was that moment that I really loved, you know, to see these two different families coming together, and it was like really sweet and happy, and then it gets fucking horrible. But yeah, it was that's one of my favorite stories, and that's when I really got into the whole mythos behind all these characters. So
yeah. So
any references to a talking tiger?
Maybe I just because I don't even know what that's a reference to, so maybe, and I didn't realize it, but I don't.
Damn it!
Nothing overt, bro. Man. No. I mean, honestly, this was very much like Greek mythology 101 type of focus, just in terms of the not the what they call it, the negaverse, but the characters and the baddies and things like that. Like
that is now 2 films, folks, where we have been denied. I want to say my man's name is Tawny. Tawny the Talking Tiger is this like Tiger Man type character who is a part of the Captain Marvel Shazam family in the comics. He's always hungry and he's eating and stuff, and he's like comic relief type thing. But
his name is Tony.
I think it's Tawny, like
I think
Tawny.
I know that nigga's name is not Tony the Tiger, like Frosted Flakes.
No, it's like I think that's his name, Tawny, but I know he's a talking tiger, and he wears a suit, so he's awesome.
Talking tiger, DC. Okay, Shazam. But anyway,
Google it for me. But yeah, it'll come right up.
Yeah, but
damn. So that's
Talkie Tawny.
Talkie Tawny.
TAWKTAWNY.
There we go, baby.
Is wearing a fucking zoot suit.
A zoot suit. Yep. Usually blue.
And a green page boy hat.
Yep. They
are dead ass. Oh no, excuse me. A green like smooth Bowler? Criminal hat.
A smooth criminal. The Derby.
I guess whatever the name of that shit is, but and he got a cane. This nigga's a pimp. Oh my god. Yeah, it is a talking tiger. Okay, but anyway, that's so random. I'm sorry. It's just DC.
Off air, me and Tatiana were talking about how much random DC shit I know, and it is, even though I did not read all the DC comics, I do know a lot of their random stuff. And DC to me has like the random, like they go utterly ridiculous with it, you know, and always have. And so that's why I love it. Like I love the talking tiger being part of this family. That's just like the most, you know, random shit and so amazing. So I love it.
Yeah, no, this this is insane.
Dwayne
Wade. Yeah, but yeah, references. It was typically, like I said, again, Greek mythology and Marvel and the same humor. Although, like some person, as I was standing, like I was waiting around, and some guy just walked up and he was like, "Hey, did you like this film?" And I was like, "Oh, it was pretty good." And he said, "I thought the first one was funnier," and then kind of walked away. And I was like, "Okay," but now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, okay, I can see why you thought the first one was funny. Just maybe because it was more fresh in the context of everything that was happening in DCEU, and now that style is not new anymore. So maybe you felt that way, but to me, it was pretty much on the level.
Okay. So what didn't you like about this joint?
You know, the stuff that was on the nose, right? Like, and that's the whether trying to do it out of comedic take or not, like that's one of the pitfalls that I don't like in any film, right? So, and sometimes it also shows its age, but then again, I don't know how long this has been sitting waiting to get released, but
I don't think that long.
I don't think that long, right? But like for example, Black Adam, you could tell this age, right? Because it was stuff that was on the nose.
Skater boy.
Like, it was it's not so much, but it's some of it in there. And again, they mean it as a joke, but it's just like, all right, y'all, like playing the song Hero while they're doing heroic things, right? And it's part of the in-joke.
Foo Fighters?
No, not that Hero, the old song, I Need a Hero.
Oh, that's even worse.
That
Jesus
one.
Christ.
And again, that's actually part of a joke that one of the characters says, but it's still like,
yeah, you did
like,
it.
It's almost as if it's like you're trying to be too smart for your own good. Like, we get it. Like, it's a lot of sarcasm, and that's the character. That's the DNA of the Shazam series. I get it. Particularly on the live action, I get it. It's just like there's such thing as too much snarkiness. So there's a little bit of the too much snarkiness here and there, but nothing to turn me off from the film. So there wasn't. And then also the flatness of the villains, with the exception of one that was very like airy and flighty and kind of like Tinkerbellish, just in her attitude. Lucy Liu, she was pretty flat in this, unfortunately. And I don't think I don't think this movie suffered or anything because and that's just her character. Her character is Calypso. She's the goddess of chaos, and all she's about chaos. She don't give a fuck about logic and shit making sense. It's just like, no, let's just let the world burn. And that's all right, but that doesn't make really a compelling villain, besides the fact that she's so damn powerful.
Yeah, but she didn't bring it with that let the world burn and chaos and everything. Like, that could be, at least, intense.
It's not intense as much as this is the bad guy. It's a very direct, this is the bad guy. This is the person you need to be rooting against.
Is she doing like her? I do too. Is she doing like her Kill Bill times 10 or something? Like, is it
like Orenishi? No,
yeah, like
this
too
isn't
much.
Orenishi. Like, well, even Orenishi, I feel like that was more compelling.
Yes,
that's much more compelling. This was just, I'm textbook comic book villain, and we live up to the textbook. And again, it didn't destroy anything. It was just like, I was like, oh, okay, that didn't do anything for me. Helen Mirren was good too. Like, listen, it's Shazam, and I don't think this thing is built to carry, like, when it comes to the villains. I don't know so much that it's really built to carry these stories of villainy like that, to make you care about the villains. It does what it's supposed to do, which is make you care about Billy, make you deeply care about the family and their bond, and make it a big consequences to what happens within these bonds and throughout this family. That they do in spades, and they do that very well. Everybody else is kind of just like, okay, you're fucking up the family. Like, get the fuck out of here. So that's how I feel.
Okay. Anything else you wasn't feeling?
No. It's again, if you're looking for you, meaning the average person, if you're sitting there looking for, the most top tier mind bending, fucking Dark Knight approach to a comic book movie, you're not gonna get that shit. That's not what. And anyone going into it with that, you're crazy. You're out of your mind. Like, that's not what Shazam is about. Shazam is meant to be fun. Shazam is meant to be entertaining. It is also meant to be heartfelt and give you the sense that family is important and family is everything. And they succeeded at this. So I actually expect this film to do very well at the box office. And unless like the marketing doesn't, like, I don't know why. Well, I've seen marketing come up now. We're in New York, so I see more marketing, but I'm just hoping that it's
been light, but
it felt like it's been light.
But I still feel like it should be number one this weekend because there ain't nothing else coming out. And um, beyond that, who knows?
Okay. Yeah, it just
Yeah.
felt light, so I was a little nervous, but like, and nervous in the sense of I'm just like, well, how's this gonna make money if people don't remember it's coming? But it's actually fun, and
Yeah.
if you want to come and go out on the weekend and see an entertaining comic book film, this is it. This is it for you. And as Ben said, ain't shit else on right now. So I mean, this is the one for you. You're trying to hit the theater with some popcorn for real.
And you also got to remember that, like, we're not getting a lot of the marketing for this. This is probably hitting like ABC, NBC, CBS all day and night, when people are watching, Modern Family or whatever shit. I don't know, like I'm sure that's when this is getting bombarded with Shazam ads. I watch Abbott and
Like
I don't really get Shazam ads on Abbott, but yeah.
when I watch Abbott, it's like on Hulu.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I'm not seeing these ads. But
Yeah.
if there are ads on the mainstream for the typical movie, great. That means y'all know it's coming. And I do hope is number one. It's a good, it's
It should
an
be number
entertaining
one.
film.
It's gonna be number
It
one.
deserves to be number one this weekend. And
Mhm.
it looks good. I will say just to wrap it all up, it looks good. The effects are great. Like I said, it can be brutal when it comes to the fighting and the things that happen to people and the overall Philly itself. It's some brutal shit happening, but it's still watchable. It's still very much watchable. It's still very much has heart.
Okay, so
It has heart.
that
And
does
it's
draw.
sweet, and it's very sweet, especially in certain times with the family. It's just a very sweet film too.
Okay, that does draw into. Um, since there's no connection to Black Adam, since we get no talking tiger, uh, we know that Wonder Woman is up in that joint, at least in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's worth it actually. It
yeah.
is worth it. It is. I will say that for sometimes it's very weak when you get these cameos and things like that, but this time it was actually worth it.
Okay.
It was worth it.
Anything else?
There is a mid-credit scene and an end credit scene. Are they worth the mid-credit scene? Definitely. The end credit scene, maybe. If you have to leave and whatever, you could go see it online. But definitely want to see that mid-credit scene.
Okay. Throughout the film, are there any other connections to the DCEU?
There are talks. I mean, besides, when Wonder Woman brings up talks of Justice League, and then
Okay.
so there's other groups associated.
I'm guessing Shazam gets dissed for being a member of the Justice League. Like, nah, fam.
Well, I'll leave it up to you for y'all to see what happens.
Okay.
The word justice is in there. I'll just say that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. But I mean,
the word justice is in there, but because I don't want to ruin for nobody. But
true indeed, true.
I don't want to ruin for nobody. I mean, I'll tell you off air. But
yep.
Yeah, no, I liked it. Again, like I said, with the exception of some of the stuff that was just on the nose, it was like, okay, and you don't have to be that snarky. We get it. Besides that, I liked everything. And there are kiddish stuff happening, but again, look at what the audience of this, the focused audience for this. This is really a family film.
Okay, what about? Let me see. What are your predictions? Let's say, okay, I guess we need. This is a two-parter. If this movie does, make $1 billion, what are your predictions for
it's
the
not gonna make $1 billion. I don't know if it's gonna make $1 billion.
Well, okay, all right. Well, in general, what are your does this give some predictions for the future of the DCE or you? Yeah.
For me, it absolutely gives some predictions because it plays right along into what James Gunn and friends are trying to do. Which helps me because I was just like, all of these, because these are technically relics of the DCEU, right? These are technically the last films to come out before you get the fresh new stuff. So they played it well, especially with the inclusion of Wonder Woman. Because again, I don't know how much longer we're gonna have this version of Wonder Woman, but to include Shazam in this and the Shazam fam, and then as I say, there's mentions of other Justice people, like to just drop those seeds is really good, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then because they're young and they're kids, you can mold them up as they get, and in real life, I mean, you can mold them up and continue raising them through the DCU, much like how Marvel is doing now, how they're raising up the kids, right? And letting the original or the older actors start pass the torch to them. You're starting to see that process within Shazam. So I think that the clear breadcrumbs are there. And because they're young, like I foresee that they're going to continue with this Shazam series with this group of people unless something catastrophic happens or someone's just like, I don't want to do this shit no more. I don't know, but I didn't hear them say anything about, oh, we're recasting Shazam and all 40 kids. Like I know there's not 40 of them. I'm just saying, there's just a lot of motherfucking kids.
So you do not think the future of the Shazam family is going to be that long?
No, I do think that.
Okay.
I do potentially like. That's what I was saying. I said I don't see them recasting, right? Like even though there's a lot of these kids, with the exception maybe the older one, I don't see them recasting. I don't see them stopping this train, especially if this makes at least make the budget back.
It's gonna make the budget back.
The budget back and double it, then they're good. They're good. They're gonna keep this train going because right now, this is the only established DCU property that has a through line to family, right? A lot of the DCEU stuff has been dark and inaccessible to the younger crowd.
Okay, so
this one is pre-built. It's pre-built with the kids in mind. It's pre-built with family in mind. It's pre-built with that money, that type of money. That money.
Okay, you're right. And even though they have not announced this going forward, I do believe that they will, make amends and James Gunn is gonna, dodge and bob and weave and do all that. So if this does make some good money, he gonna be like, yeah, let's keep this money train rolling on in and figure out a way to make a reference to it, at some point later on, and we'll keep it going.
It's light enough to keep the youth engaged, and it's heavy enough to keep DC fans interested. It's a very nice sweet spot. I feel Shazam is in, which is why I feel as long as it makes the guap supposed to make, they're gonna keep the train, as you say, going. They're gonna keep throwing clothes in there.
Any Snyder-esque shots in it? Any slow motion?
Yeah, there's plenty of slow motion, but it's not egregious. It's not egregious, but there's when it's used, it makes sense for it to be used. But and it's less slow motion as much as it's just intense close-ups as
Yeah, that's
very intense
Snyder.
Things are happening. So
the punch throws into the face.
Oh no, there is that. There's always the slow-mo punch into the face.
Yeah, that's the Snyder.
The thing. So that's there, but it's not overdone. It's not overdone. But no, I do see a long history for Shazam. As long as they keep this formula going, they'll be fine. And as I said, and if they do stop it, I was just like, why? That was free money. So whatever.
I mean, at the same time, the argument can be made that, you don't need a trilogy and stuff, You don't.
But what about the characters themselves? Like, you're going to keep them going? Like,
oh, yeah, they could bring them into other things.
Yeah. Now we'll say this. Even though they've left the breadcrumbs for like future films and allowing that whole openness, the family themselves, I don't know if they are going to come along for the ride. Billy Batson can definitely be inserted in and out and come along for the ride. And by say in and out, the other stories, but I don't know necessarily if they're going to continue with the full family. Because like I said, I say 40, but there's a lot of motherfuckers.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Okay, so we are on the same page about that. Because that's what I was saying. I felt like ain't no way they're going to keep all these kid actors, plus like Megan Good and all of them around too. Like,
I mean,
I know they ain't the biggest.
I could see the whole family from if they continue, they're going to continue with Billy, right? Continue with Shazam as a character, insert him in other stories or whatever. If they do that and they start leaving like behind the family stories, then the family will pop up here and there as cameos, as versus full-fledged films.
Yeah.
Unless
Billy.
unless the response to the family is larger than Billy.
Yeah.
And the audience response. If the audience response is very strong and keen on the family enough, then they'll be like, okay, we'll do at least a trilogy with the fam. If not, they're just going to keep it pushing.
I mean a Billy as in a Billy, not Billy Batson.
Billy as in a Billy. Yeah.
If it makes a Billy, the family will be bad for
I just don't personally see this as the Billy. And maybe because I'm not seeing enough marketing, but I see this doing well and being successful. I would be immediately shocked, and not because it's not can't make it to ability. I just didn't realize that there was that much marketing for that to happen.
Or that much love for Shazam. Oh,
That too.
yeah. No,
I mean, there were some people online that were like, "Oh, I forgot this was coming out." I was like, "Oh shit, okay."
I couldn't. I mean, I'm really kind of shocked to hear that it's good because it is coming out this weekend, and we're just getting to see it
And
now.
we're just getting.
So I just figured that they were
So
holding
late
it
in the game.
Yeah, I was like, they're holding this because So I'm kind of shocked.
I think it's fun and
Pleasantly surprised, I'll say.
Yeah, I would say I was because I wasn't necessarily like super hype about it. I just thought it would be decent, but it was a little bit more than decent, and it was entertaining.
Okay.
And again, it was on the level of the first Shazam. It's listen, this is a popcorn film. It's not rocket science. Yep. It's not meant to be.
The first Shazam is one of the ones I enjoyed in the theater, and then when it's like been on Hulu or whatever, like when it's on TNT, I've caught like parts of it, but I've never seen it all the way through again from the first time.
That's probably gonna do the same with this.
Yeah, one. And I doubt I will. Yeah, I'll probably catch this on.
This is the one where you're gonna see in the theaters, like, okay, that was fun, that was cool, and then later down the line, comes on TV. It's like playing while you're doing your laundry or something like that. Like, yeah.
Like I was watching Endgame the other day. I caught like, quick 30 minutes of it. It was amazing, as always.
No, that I have to stop in my tracks.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's what I did. The game was coming on after too. Oh, it was perfect. I'm watching Endgame.
Yeah. So listen, as I said earlier, you're trying to go to the movies this weekend. Go see this. You have fun. Mm-hmm. You might giggle here and there.
Wow.
Some laughs. Jama Hasu. He's Jama Hasu. So
he's always good. Yep.
He's always good. So
yep.
Yeah.
All right. So that pretty much wraps up our review of Shazam! Fury of the Gods in theaters this weekend. And let's see. We are For All Nerds, as you know. Make sure you are following us on all of those various podcast platforms out there, like iTunes, Spotify. It don't matter. Just type in For All Nerds. Hit that follow. You can also do that on YouTube, on Twitch, on all of the better social media platforms. I'll include Twitter right there, even though it ain't the best one anymore. But yeah, follow us there as well, at For All Nerds, at For All Nerds on Instagrams, on the Facebooks, even if you want to. Make sure you hit us up on our Patreon, patreon.com/forallnerds, where you can, keep this mission going, keep the lights on as you see me in this purplish lights. Tatiana's about to have her own lights too as well. We getting lit up in here.
So excited.
Thanks to the good folks at patreon.com, /forallnerds, where you get exclusive stuff. We do have an exclusive March episode coming to you that has been in the can for a minute, but that's just been a problem. A lot of technical issues over here, but we'll be getting that to you very soon. Plus some other stuff. Y'all got instant access to this Shazam screener as well as the John Wick screener. We're going to be getting y'all some books soon, some other stuff coming. So patreon.com/forallnerds. Hit us up over there. Thank you to all the new patrons over there. And last but not least, you can hit us up on our merch site, forallnerds.com, the premier geek merch site in the wizard world. I'm telling y'all, ain't nobody coming with flavors like this latest one that I'm rocking right here. Let me back up so you can see it.
That Nope Akira crossover. That shit goes hard. Love it. Look at Kiki on the motorbike. I fucks with it.
It's amazing. It's one of my all-time favorites. We're about to do some press on that, so y'all get some better looks at that, and y'all can cop that just like the Lionel Richie joint that is on Fuego right now on forallnerds.com. Make sure y'all get both of these very extremely limited edition joints, especially this one, because I don't know when Jordan P.O. coming looking for me over this stuff, or Kiki, one of them coming. So make sure y'all get this soon. forallnerds.com. Hurry up, go cop it. Anything else before we get out of here?
P.S. One thing I forgot to say about Shazam, it's a very self-aware film, and I like that. So
okay.
You into that stuff. But besides that, thank you, everybody. Appreciate it. You said it all, Ben. I mean, make sure if y'all are in DC October 19th that you swing by the National Museum of... Wow, I did pull the Ben. I mean, I forgot the name of the damn Blacksonian. But yes, we are going to be there in the Oprah Winfrey Theater. We are going to be panelists on an Afrofuturism exhibit. And we are excited and honored and humbled that we are going to be officially in the building with the Smithsonian. We have another speaking engagement that we're going to announce soon once that ink is dried on the paper. And we got more stuff coming down the pipeline for sure. So just please keep it locked. We appreciate you. We love you. We love and appreciate the word of mouth, the support, the acts, the pictures, literally everything. We love you and salute you for everything. Thank
Word
you.
up. And you did let them know we are doing some stuff in LA very soon.
That's the ink ain't dry. That's what I said.
I mean, it's coming. It's coming.
It's coming.
That's all we're gonna say. LA, look out. We be there.